You're recording me talking about stupid fucking cookies.
I am recording you!
Remind me to put the explicit tag on this episode since I cussed in the first, 10 seconds.
I know. Well, I mean, you were going off on a tangent about cookies, and you're like, I'm a cookie monster.
This should be on the podcast. Flying is no fun anymore. It's awful. You're cramped in there. I can't even open my computer. I weigh 196 pounds. I am 5 foot, 9, 10?
Uh-huh.
What was I when I graduated high school? 5'6"? No, I'm 5 foot 9.5, 5 foot 10. I weigh this is mostly muscle. I have super broad shoulders, right? Annoyingly broad shoulders for my frame and my tiny head, right? And I can't fit in I can't even open my computer 3/4 of the way in a standard seat if somebody leans back. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can't fit. I was just telling you, they bring you those biscotti cookies, which used to be special. They're not even good cookies. They're some random cinnamon flavor. I don't even know what they are. They used to be cool because when you first started flying, you could only get them there. Now you can get them everywhere. They're just ridiculous, right? They're stupid. And then they give them to you. And on a 6-hour flight, they bring beverage service one time and then throw some water at you halfway through. It's crazy.
This is to me, I find this very humorous. I'm just imagining you sitting in a chair and you're like, I don't want your cookie. Take your cookie back. And then they're like, you, man with the broad shoulders, I'm throwing you a water now. No, I don't want your water. Get it away from me.
Pretty much what happened. At least I didn't sit in the aisle this time where everybody hits my shoulder the entire flight. I made that mistake flying out to Indianapolis last month. And we're sorry for the inconsistent podcast. This is my fault, not Greg's for once. I have gone to the dentist every other Tuesday. Been flying to Indianapolis or Miami for my job. On other Tuesdays, Miami would be the one I'm complaining about because that was at least I had a nonstop, but it was 6 hours back and on American Airlines. American Airlines, as I like to say, part of the One World Alliance. And if you look at the logo, it's the One World Alliance where they have you by the balls.
Huh. Okay.
Try looking at their logo. I know this is a podcast, so this doesn't really help, but trust me.
You're giving people a visual reference for their listening experience. It's good radio.
Now I'm curious to see if they've actually changed their logo to update it. But that's, they've changed it. Now it's just a circle with the words One World in it. That's not even as cool. Well, that's lame. It's still a circle, though. Now it's the most generic trash logo ever. You got to be kidding me. Not only do they suck, but they have a lame logo.
Yeah.
Did you know that Alaska Airlines joined the One World Alliance, though?
Did they? Oh,
yes. Wow. So they're the best airline in the One World Alliance, right? If I fly Alaska, I can still get for $8 the fruit and cheese plate. So if I'm working and then I'm getting on an airplane right away, there can be food waiting for me on the plane. This American Airlines flight that was 6 hours long would not even let you purchase food. 6 hours. You couldn't even buy food to be there on the plane for you.
Boo.
It's really crazy how they treat you. American Airlines, boo, you suck.
I don't fly enough anymore, so I don't really care.
Yeah, we could fly. We could go visit our loyal listeners eventually. This could happen again. That's fair, loyal listener. I mean, it's not like you're never going to fly again.
I mean, I might someday, once.
You're going to have a book that comes out again eventually.
I don't have any place to go, Dan. Where am I going to go?
Well, when your next book comes out, when Junior Braves 3 comes out in 2048.
I guess I could go visit my family in places. I have family.
You could do that. You could go to Japan.
I could, or Brazil, or the East Coast, or just anywhere my family is, the Midwest, wherever they are.
Go to Japan?
Huh?
Would Grandma want to go to Japan?
She says she's too old to travel now.
I would go to Japan with you and watch New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I'm sure you would. I asked her if she wanted to go a while back, and she said no. And now she doesn't want to go anywhere. So, which I understand.
Well, it does turn out, I've looked up this very important information.
Yeah.
Alaska Airlines is part of the One World Alliance now, and so is Japan Airlines.
Oh,
so
well,
I bet my miles that I'm accumulating on Alaska Airlines, because I've been putting all of these miles on Alaska and Airlines, even if I fly one of these other airlines like American Craptastic Airlines.
Yeah. It all goes towards the same thing.
So Japan could happen. I wonder but I imagine there'd be no good comic book conventions in Japan. It would be all that anime stuff that I love so much.
They have good comic book conventions. It's just different.
Well, we should do that. That would be fantastic. We go to a comic book convention and then go to pro wrestling in Japan.
Well,
and baseball. I'll just do all the things I like to do here, but I'll do them in Japan.
There you go.
It seems very culturally sensitive.
I mean, it's all the same things that people everywhere like to do. So it's not a stretch.
Well, we aren't supposed to be talking about airlines, Japan, travel, comic book conventions, or the One World Alliance that has you by the balls. No. We're supposed to be talking about Nathaniel Dusk number 3.
Oh my goodness. We're back on that old business.
Yeah, but you know what Nathaniel Dusk has in common with the One World Alliance?
What's that?
I think that the drugstore, dime store villains in these issues, I think they have him by the balls.
That's
on top
true.
of a train.
Yeah, they do. They think they got him by the balls.
They think they do. And we're going to find out if they do. But when we last left Nathaniel Dusk, he was in a pretty precarious situation.
Oh, yeah.
He's being chased on a train. And let's catch everybody back up because we've been gone for a while. So we've been reading Nathaniel Dusk, Private Investigator. And it's a fantastic, beautifully penciled and color penciled series by Gene Colan, right?
Yeah.
And this one looks like it was inked by Dick Giordano, which, geez, okay. Oh, that may just be the cover.
The cover.
Yeah, I think it's just the cover, but still, I mean, geez, okay. Yeah, it's weird that they did make the covers look brighter. I guess you're still selling these on the newsstand.
Yeah,
I don't think these were direct.
You want people to walk by, see it pop, grab it, take it home, flip it open, and go.
Yeah, I think the second series. Yeah, I think the second Nathaniel Dusk miniseries was a direct sale, but this was a newsstand sale, so they had to make it bright and shiny. So, we're here, and we've got where we left off. Nathaniel Dusk has been targeted by some folks.
Oh,
and he's been being chased around New York City. His other, I don't want to say girlfriend, but other, has been murdered. The police may think that he did it.
Oh, they do. I think.
It's not so good.
No.
And we've got some dime store mobster villains.
Yeah.
That have been chasing him around. I think that's a good description of where we're caught up.
Yeah.
And we last saw him on a train with a gun aimed at him, which is always precarious.
Oh, yeah. Very bad.
I'm not really good at trains.
No, you don't like trains?
I don't mind trains. I think, I mean, they're probably better than airplanes. Definitely they're better than airplanes. They're just really slow. So I get at least airplanes. I don't think I could have taken a train to Miami.
It's a long ride.
It would have been a long ride. Did you know that Seattle to Miami is the longest continental nonstop, like in the U.S., like continental U.S.?
I'm nodding my head as I've flown it before. Yes.
Yeah, Miami. Yeah, it's a place. So, we're here, and we flipped the front cover, and we have an advertisement for Joust.
Whoa. Joust.
Did you know?
Yes. No.
That I used to take my Joust cartridge and walk it up and down the street, back and forth to Rob Hayes' house. And one time I dropped the Joust cartridge and it got left outside.
Oh, no.
And it was run over by a car. It fell out of my bag.
Oh.
And this is at the point where I realized you could take that little chip out of the cartridge and just put the chip in there and everything would work fine.
And you're like, I am a genius.
So I saved Joust. But now, you have my Atari. And I guess I should get it back from you because apparently we're not selling it.
It's just hanging out in the back.
Right. I don't know why. You said it was too dirty, but I think probably
needs
not
to be
anymore.
cleaned
for 2 years. So
I don't have the time to do it. If you want to sell your Atari, you got to clean your Atari. I got other stuff to clean.
For 2 years.
Yes.
So it's been in the back for 2 years.
That's right.
I just want to emphasize for 2 years.
It's your Atari. You want to sell it. You got to clean it. Them is the rules.
Says Greg for the first time ever on this podcast.
I told you before.
No. You just said it was dirty before. You didn't say any of these things.
I said it was dirty. You asked why it wasn't put out. I said it was too dirty to put out. I said if you want to sell it, you got to clean it.
You didn't say that last part.
Well,
like you used to have a guy to clean these things, and you don't have a guy anymore. We don't need to get into who that was, but you did used to have a guy that did these things.
But you would have definitely not gotten your money out of it.
I also have no idea how to clean the Atari, but that's fine. Joust. Important, fun family story. I love Joust. By the way, the game, even the Atari game with the crappy graphics, if there was a Joust game right now, we would be playing it. I love Joust. I don't know what genius thought about putting people on birds and having them fly and hit each other.
Someone with an idea about giant birds.
It is kind of interesting too how the little jouster guys, like they come out of the egg.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like birds are usually born with human jousters riding them when they come out of the egg, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're like born a jousting.
But with such a terrible premise, it was a fantastic concept for a game and a fun arcade game.
Yeah.
To play against somebody else.
Not a good board game though.
Was there a jousted board game?
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
I mean, it could be fun, but it's just takes a long time to play.
Did you have the Zenith looking TV in this Joust ad?
Yes. There's one in the back.
Our TV had the dials on it.
I have one in the very, very back of the store.
That is true. You do have one in the very, very back of the store.
Then I have another one in the very, very back of the store with the dials.
Well, enough on the Joust ad.
Yes.
Like, I guess this is going to be one of those episodes. This is going to be one of those episodes where I get distracted by everything, isn't it?
Dan, if our one
we should have also known. I had no idea. How did I never notice it before? Atari, a Warner Communication company. When did that happen? Is that what killed them? I mean, that's what killed WCW, right?
I believe it.
So Warner is responsible for killing everyone.
My DC.
No, Warner didn't kill Turner. Wait, Turner merged with who?
DC is a Warner Communications company too.
I know.
Oh man, you think?
Do I think that Warner has killed DC over the years by its multiple mergers and buyouts and changes and AT&T and aren't we all owned by the Discovery Channel now? What the hell happened?
I have no clue, man.
Yeah, Discovery bought HBO.
Really?
Bought Warner? Yes. Have you not seen this?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So how have you missed this news? So Discovery bought bought Warner. Yeah, they bought Warner Media.
Interesting.
They took control on April 8th. They took control of HBO, CNN, Warner Brothers. How did you miss this? So CNN had just launched their own streaming service. And then Discovery bought them and shut it down the next day. So they had hired all these people. I shouldn't be laughing about people losing their job, but it's just so absurd. They had just launched it and then they wanted to fold it under HBO Max or some other thing or Discovery Plus or whatever. And they blew it up. Yeah. And I am trepidatious because, we keep having these mergers with the Warner properties. Who knows what happens to comics, right? I mean, basically, DC is just an IP farm at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual property farm for... Yeah. That's for people that can't translate, initials on the fly. That's why there are 9,000 Batman books every month.
Yes.
Of varying quality.
Varying quality.
So I think I'm buying one. Though I should be buying the Nightwing books. There's been a lot of Nightwing on Twitter.
Has there? Huh.
Well, I think I get different tweets than you. Maybe because I like different things than you. But I've been getting a lot of Nightwing butts on Twitter.
Oh, the butt doesn't lie.
Yeah. I don't think you probably don't get as many of those on your feed, I'm guessing.
Probably not. You probably get a lot of. I don't know.
There's some folks that they've been there's a lot of folks very appreciative of Nightwing's butt of various genders and people you'd be surprised. Gail Simone seems to be a big fan.
Well, I mean, Nightwing, he's a very athletic superhero, so why would he not have?
And
he
has
butt?
A cute dog now too.
Oh, does it rival Krypto?
Excuse me.
Does it rival Krypto?
Well, it rivals Krypton because Krypton exploded into a million pieces and no longer exists. So
I corrected myself and said Krypto.
Well, which Krypto? The Krypto in the movie played by The Rock or the Krypto in the comic book?
Either.
Well, I don't know on the first one, right? I don't know yet. I'm a little bit disappointed because Ace the Bat Hound was never a member of the Legion of Super Pets. But Prody was, but they've removed Prody and they've put in Ace the Bat Hound because we have to have a Batman in everything. And then they change it to the League of Super Pets, right? Because we have to be like the Justice League, even though there has never been a League of Super Pets, only a Legion of Super Pets. Yes. And this is what happens when, 47-year-old nerds, in my case, overanalyze a movie. That's just supposed to be fun for kids.
Yes. It's also amazing? 18 minutes in and we haven't even got to page 1 of Nathaniel Dusk part 3.
Well, we got to the Atari ad.
We talked about the cover. We talked about the ad. 18
We talked about airplanes.
And airplanes and your dislike
and
for
trains.
The cookies.
I did talk about it. I talked about trains.
Trains. Oh, yeah. We talked about... yes. Okay. I apologize.
Okay. Well... Nathaniel Dusk is on a train, and the train, the narrator says, well, who is Nathaniel Dusk is the narrator. So I guess Nathaniel Dusk is thinking, the train lurched and swayed like a Coney Island roller coaster.
Whoa.
Not a big fan. I don't think I'd be a big, that wooden roller coaster at the fair in Puyallup. I'm not a big fan. I've ridden some other roller coasters now and was substantially less scared, but I think the old wooden shaky ones kind of did me in there for many years.
There you go. Yeah.
So that sounds terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And he's got a gun aimed at him, and there we are.
Yeah.
Well, we go on to the next page. And what's best to do when you're on a train and a gun's being pointed at you from another train car?
Oh, you just, get into it. You
jump off and run into the other person.
Yeah, of course. That's the way to make it all better.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and this section is all narrated, so it's all Nathaniel Dusk narrating what's happening, which you're also seeing visually. So I honestly think, we've not been critical of this book at all. I think there's too much narration on the next 2 pages.
What?
I can see it. The art is so clear. He's like saying the gun blast, was so close it burned my flesh. Yeah, I can see it in the picture. I don't need a narration to tell me.
Yeah, but it's part of it's part of the charm of the detective novel, the noir story.
That's fair.
To have that type of
the gun blast
narration.
Was so close it burned my flesh, left my temple throbbing like the first sunburn of the summer.
As you're looking at the panels.
Yeah, and then I had a pipe too when I read that too, and I tapped it. Yeah.
Did you? Okay. Yeah. Very good.
Just give you the visual.
Okay. Very good.
Well, anyway, we have a fight. They're slamming into the back of a train, and then they get hooked in the metal links of the chain that join the 2 cars.
Oh.
We definitely are having like a Mike Hammer moment right here.
Mm-hmm. To
your point with the detective genre. So it's pretty fantastic. I should be critical once in a while of this book, but
no, you can be critical. It's okay. I will continually always be the ever so vigilant. No, it's so good though.
Well, we've been gushing over the book for 2 whole issues, and I don't think we've criticized it once. So I do like, in the visual art form though, it is nice sometimes when the visuals tell the story, right? Yeah. And even I get to the next page, I think you're right. The narration serves a purpose, but when
I think the chain links are too big.
Yeah, that's not my complaint.
No.
The art's fantastic.
Yeah.
The words are fantastic too. If I'm just reading the story, I think sometimes though, when I read a story with too much narration, I don't pay attention to the art. I just read through the story.
And that's why you have to reread the story twice again.
Or 3 times in this case, 3 or 4.
Yes.
Well, in this case, what was the big guy's name?
Oh, Loudmouth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And he's flying off the train. He hits the electric rails. He keeps falling and he crunches on top of a car.
Oh, I think he's dead. What do you think? You think he's dead?
I don't think he made it. And oh my God, on the next page, we have one of the original Masters of the Universe ads.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The original. Like, this was the original, right?
Yeah.
Right here. Oh, wow. Can you name everybody on this page? Go.
Well, I mean, you got He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, Beastman. There's 2 that I. What are the ones that I didn't name?
I don't know the ones in the back, so
okay.
I was figuring you did. I don't know the one that looks like the guy in the scooter there. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's kind of like, I can't tell. And then I can't.
There's no merman in this one. That makes me sad.
Yeah, and then the flying guy, I can't remember his name. Although I just literally watched a cartoon with him in it, and it's so weird because his glasses they're his eyes, so they're not glasses. So
right.
weird. And then the guy.
So basically the Adam Strange ripoff up there flying. We don't know who that is in Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
And the Metron ripoff there in the scooter. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, brought to you by Mattel and really cheap Filmation cartoons.
Yes.
And we get the next page, Arak, Son of Thunder, by Roy Thomas and Ron Randall with art. I did not know Ron Randall drew Arak.
I'll be like, Ron, draw me some Arak.
I might actually.
And he'll be like, "Go away."
I am super anxious
for Checker. His new Checker.
I'm super anxious for I've got a new issue coming to me, and then I've already signed up for the next Kickstarter. So I also just got Carl Kiesel's Impossible Jones in the mail, and I have a present for you.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because in the last Kickstarter, because I know you don't order that, I ordered you because it was a great deal. I ordered you the Volume 1 hardcover so you could have one so we could review it.
Oh, very nice.
So it's sitting here at the house, so I need to actually, get that to you so you can read it and I can reread it because it is fun and we are going to review it at some point.
Well, just like the new DC, there's no stopping us now.
That's fair.
See what I did there?
I did. And you could sell newspapers. So, all right, we're back. So he makes it onto the train, still narrating his way around, but a little stunned and a little shocked. No pun intended.
Yeah.
He heads off the train at the first stop and starts running. And he's running out into that slushy weather that we've been talking about in the previous episodes. That kind of shut down or stymied New York there.
He's trying to get away from
1934.
The
and
cadaver.
Then he makes it back to his office. Yeah, and he's trying to get away so Cadaver doesn't come find him. So he's taken out one of the guys, but it was unintentional, and now he's waiting for the other guy to come take him out. So he makes it to the office and he crashes, falls asleep, and he's not in good shape. Let's just say that.
He's having some dreams, some memories, some reminiscing about World War I. Yeah. Or what would be the war at that time.
Yeah.
What we would call
the Great War.
Yeah, the Great War.
Yeah, he's thinking about the mustard gas, right?
Yeah.
So we get to Saturday morning and look, Jenny's back.
Hey.
He's hanging out with the kids again.
Yeah.
And we get one of those awkward scenes again where they're chatting and he mentions to Jenny, hey, hold up a minute, Jenny, you can't live with your grandma. Your mama told me she'd been dead for years. And it's revealed to her, no, she's not. In fact, Jenny says grandma lives where no one could visit her now. So I know you're wrong. Interesting. I don't know if that'll show up later or not.
That doesn't make any sense, but it does.
I'm gonna admit, if you're reading this, I'm giving you a partial clue, but I missed that on the first read through, the importance of it.
Yeah.
So, but we did get another clue here, and I should have been paying attention because he narrates, I told myself it was what a detective was supposed to do. I told myself it would help me find out who had killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know what that is yet, but they did give us a clue that something on that page is going to help lead to him solving the problem.
Right.
So he goes and starts looking at photos. He goes upstairs and starts digging through photos. He sees a bunch of pictures and he grabs an address that says Miss Stella Julian, 1514 125th Street, apartment 4A, New York, New York.
But wait,
is that past 110th Street?
Oh, I wasn't about the address. I was like, oh, but he can't leave quite yet.
Oh, that's fair. You're already getting into the action, but I'm distracted because there's a fantastic song, in blaxploitation film about 110th Street.
Oh, is there?
I mean, do you not know these things? How do you not know these things? Bobby Womack? Some of the greatest lyrics ever?
I don't know. Regale me.
What? Across 110th Street? Pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak? Across 110th Street? Pushers won't let the junkie go free? Across 110th Street? Women trying to catch a trick on the street? Across 110th Street? You can't find it all in the street? You can find it all in the street? Sorry, not you can't, but you can. You don't know this? How do you not know this song? This is like 70s blaxploitation cinema at its finest.
I just wanted to have you.
I'm not going to try to sing it.
Darn it.
Hey, brother, there's a way out. Snorting that coke, shooting that dope. Man, you're copping out. Yeah.
And
this song is on my...
Anybody that wants to go find it?
What? The song is fantastic. Bobby Womack, 110th Street. You can find it. This is on my Soul Tuesday listening list.
There you go.
It's making me so sad that you don't know the song.
I didn't say I didn't.
Oh, it's one of those things where you try to get me to explain it to you when I really didn't need to, kind of things.
I was trying to get you to explain it to the listener, but now you
I got it. Well, anyway, you're right. Cadaver's there. Say hi.
It's not Cadaver. It's his buddy.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. It's a detective. Yep. My bad. That's why he's calling him Nate.
Yeah.
It's Abrams. Yeah, he finds him there. And now they have a nice chat where he starts accusing him of doing bad things.
Why did you do these things, Nate? Why did you do all these bad things? I didn't do these bad things. What are you talking about?
But you did do bad things. And he's like, I should shoot you, but you're not. I'm leaving. Okay, he leaves.
You threw a guy off the train. Well, okay, I did that thing.
But he lets him walk out and drops his gun. So there you go. And so Abrams is going to let Nathaniel try to figure things out. Yeah. It's a pretty nice thing to do.
Yeah, figure it out.
So he must believe him, right? I mean, that would be... Yeah. But a lot of things are against him right now. People dying off of trains is a normal everyday occurrence. No. That's not that. Getting in a gunfight on a train, having people show up at your office continually. These are not, and then always knowing where you're. Yeah, people chasing you down. This is not the norm, especially for this guy. He's kind of flies under the radar usually. Well, now he heads off and he's like. It's now Saturday, early evening, February 3rd, and he says it was a strange way to travel through the city. Afraid some stranger would shout my name. No one was home at 125th Street. The neighbors wanted to know why I was asking questions about Stella Galino, and I decided to return to my office because he didn't want to be out on past 110th Street at night. And I don't blame him, based on Bobby Womack's description. Oh, he probably figured he'd wait till the morning. Well, now he's back in the office again. I question his sanity constantly going back to the office, but hey, he's there. It's like his house, man. Yeah, but they must know he's going to come there, right? I mean, they probably do. He's got 3 places he's going to go. Well, anyway, he gets back to the office and the phone rings. The phone rings, and it's a female caller. Yep. It's a lady caller. I don't know. Is this the lady from the beginning of the story? The beginning of the story. Yeah. This first page of the story that ran out of the office. Of the whole story. Have you think back that far? Well, anyway, this phone call doesn't go well. And then another bad guy shows up. So Cadaver's back. He's ready to slay Nathaniel. And Nathaniel is running out looking for one of those taxis that are all on strike. And he gets going and the taxi takes off. And now a gunfight starts. Now people come after him because he gets in a cab and it's the striking cabbies stop him and they start trying to go after him. He's just not having a good day. Did I lose you there?
No, he can't get across town. He is not having a good day at all.
I did not lose you. I felt like I lost you for a second.
No, I had to mute myself because I had coughed, and then I did not take myself off mute. So I was talking all along.
Well, I'm not editing this out. That's you messed that up. So, well, now we get another ad for the Warlord toys. Hopefully, Mike Grell made bank off of these.
Warlord and Eric.
Can I just note I'm still waiting for my Kickstarter, Mike Grell? Thank you. Talk about 2 years. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, I loved these columns when I was a kid. I don't know about you.
Because it tells you they got you thinking about like all the cool stuff that could be.
Yeah,
like
well, I mean, I could afford like 1 or 2 comics, right? So
yeah,
this told me everything that was going on in the background and would get me excited and interested in other things.
You'd be like, oh my gosh, I too could be working in comics or discussing comics with people someday.
And I'm not the only nerd at my school that reads comics. Well, wait, I was, but...
What are you talking about? I went to school with you.
Well, that was like in high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true. You were...
What about in, say, junior high?
Nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Not calling kettle. Hello. Anyway.
I know.
Hey, History Day is not for nerds. What are you talking about? Anyway, so...
Okay, so...
Well, we're back. Now he's being attacked by cabbies. It's just not a good day.
No, they're just like wrecking shop on that poor car too. Like they're just like throwing ice and rocks and just like they're going to destroy it if they can.
Well, he's now trying to meet up with somebody by 10:30. He is rushing to get there. And here we have a woman who's been beaten up, which... If I was going to be critical of a story, I know it is genre for this, but you know how I feel about having women beat up for story plot points. Mm-hmm. Let's see if this actually evolves into something more than a plot point. I don't think it does, if I remember.
Yeah, I don't think it does. It just is.
But anyway, he meets up and he finds out that they had... he's reminiscing, but then he finds the woman in the darkness. He looks at her and he meets her for the first time. She turns around, has a black eye, and she says, "Hello, handsome, looking for someone." And he says, "Must be, else I wouldn't be here freezing my ass off." And she says, "You're tough, but not as tough as that blonde guy. He's a bit screwy, if you ask me. Is the blonde guy the one who gave you that shiner?" And he said, "Nah, the guy that done this is the guy you want, the guy Blondie works for, the guy I work for that matter. The creep wanted me to do it with him. Listen, Buster, I do it with a lot of guys, but not in someone who's got what he's got." And so the big baddie has syphilis. Fantastic. Mm. And now the blonde guy's there, and he says, "You're a regular canary, Sherry, aren't you? You're tough." Yeah. Okay. Well, here we go. And so now he's got to fight another guy. It's a big blonde guy with a coat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't look very smart.
No.
They say draw him not to look very smart.
Maybe.
Draw him
a big
we
tough.
get an ad. Sergeant Rock here showing you a preview of Hell, D-Day, June 6, 1944. Luckiest GIs walk away whole. The next luckiest will die. His toughest tickets go to the guys who'll wind up in the VA hospitals. And we have an ad asking people to support the VA. That's kind of cool. The Veterans Bedside Network.
With Ed McMahon.
And Sergeant Rock. So we are on to the next page. And what is this? He is either on trains or boats all the time.
I don't know. But he's on...
Seems precarious.
It's transportation, man. If it's a mode of transportation, he's on it. Nathaniel. Nathaniel
Just
Dusk.
always, he always seems like where he could be in a place where he could fall off and get hurt.
Yeah. But are you foreshadowing here, Dan?
Well, we have a battle. They start fighting. Nathaniel Dusk ends up in the water.
Oh, man.
And not so good. Once he lands in the water, we get an ad for Atari Force.
Oh!
Jerry Conway and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. The new DC, there's no stopping us now. Ha, I got it this time.
Yeah.
Trademark of Atari, but these characters had nothing to do with Atari. They were just fantastic characters for a comic book.
Yes.
And we end the issue. That's it, right? We're in the water.
That's it, yeah.
And that's no good. Yeah, icicles. I was just telling you before the podcast, I just watched Sully about the airline pilot that landed in the Hudson, and they were talking about how cold it was. And this is not good.
No.
And he goes in with a trench coat on. That can't be good.
And shoes on. How hard it is to swim. Oh, sorry. I should. Oh, man. I opened my mouth.
Yawning in the middle of my podcast.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I got up at 3 o'clock.
We've had 3 issues now. So in issue 1, he ended hanging off the side of a building.
Yes.
In issue 2, he was
on top of
had a gun aimed at him on a train, and now he is in the water off of a ferry.
Yeah. It just keeps going from bad to worse.
Will he survive?
I don't know, man.
Will we find out who the guy that hit Sherry is?
We probably will.
Will we find out why it's so bad past 110th Street?
I don't know.
Will we ever find out who killed Joyce?
I don't know.
Well,
yes.
You'll have to come back on Funny Book Forensics to find out, because I'm not going to tell you today.
You're not going to tell us
for
today.
issue 4.
Issue 4
of Nathaniel Dusk, where you may learn more about airplanes, trains, boats, or any other form of transportation that Nathaniel Dusk seems to use on a regular basis. We will probably find out about some more house ads. You may even find out about the Olympic Sales Club.
All right.
Because that's where you can sell cards to all your good friends and neighbors. Or even on the back of this cover, the Masters of the Universe video game. One of the most terrible Atari games ever.
Is it really?
Yes.
I don't know,
have you heard anybody ever singing praises for the Masters of the Universe video game?
No, I have not. But
it's one of those
tried
that
it yet.
It's
I don't know if it's really that bad. It might not be that bad. It's one of those
famous games that everybody talks about on Atari 2600, right? Like Pitfall.
Blasphemy. You throw it together with Pitfall. We all know Pitfall is so good.
Moon Patrol.
Oh, that is a beautiful game.
I love Moon Patrol.
I do too.
And Joust. I've just named 3 games that are great and you've never heard. How about Solaris? One of the last Atari games. That game was fantastic. I can't even find it. It's, by the way, don't go looking for it next to my Atari because it's not there, unfortunately, which really annoys me.
It's unfortunate.
If it was there, we could go to the store and play it, like tonight, because that was a fantastic game, but I cannot find that game for cheap.
Maybe I might find it.
Good luck. Well, if you find it, let me know. Or if it's still sitting with my Atari, but I'm pretty sure it's not, so we cannot play it. Which is sad.
Sadness.
It's really sad. That was a cool game. However, we are at the end of this episode and we probably put a wrap on this one.
Yes.
Hopefully you've learned something today, and maybe a little bit was even about Nathaniel Dusk number 3.
Yeah. It was a pretty fun one, and I will also be very safe on transportation, because Nathaniel Dusk has taught me, if he has taught me nothing at all, he has taught me that you must be safe on transportation. What
have I learned on this episode?
Train,
never go to Vashon Island, because you can only get there by a ferry.
Oh, yes.
And some guy will come in and try to murder you.
Or if you're on a train, they might try to murder you, or if you get a taxi cab.
In fact, the only place we haven't been murdered, or nobody's tried to murder anybody, admittedly, is 1934, was on an airplane.
Yeah.
So
true.
Maybe that means airplanes are the safest mode of travel. Because even riding in a car, a mob of angry cabbies could surround your car and try to murder you with billy clubs.
Yeah. It was danger.
It could happen.
It could happen. They're throwing rocks and ice and all sorts of stuff at them.
Seems sketchy.
So, super sketchy.
Well, on that note,
yes,
with all the great things we've learned, we probably should wrap up this beautiful episode of Funny Book Forensics. Do you have anything to plug, since we haven't plugged anything in a bit here?
I would plug this amazing Kickstarter, the Kickstarter that is Scrape. If you've worked in a kitchen, you like space or 80s action flicks, Scrape is the book that you should be backing on Kickstarter right now, because it has everything that you probably are going to enjoy and like. You should go check it out at Kickstarter. Just check out Scrape. It is book 1 of a multi-book series created by C. Raygun, and we are cruising towards that halfway mark. We are now a project they love, and these are good accolades and good things.
How do you become a project that Kickstarter loves?
That is a great question, and I think there's a formula, there's a recipe, and I don't quite understand exactly what goes into it, but apparently our little ragtag group of folks over at Ominous Sofa has done it, where others, there's a lot of work that goes into people's planning and other stuff like that. We my whole entire thing is just small goals each and every day. We've been doing this for a few days now, 3 days now, and each and every day the small goal is just picking up just going for 5 plus, so 5 people plus.
Well, the important thing then is there is now, as of right now, a brand new backer of Scrape.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. I ignored your Twitter posts and I ignored your pleas on Facebook, but
yeah, I
cannot turn it away when we were right here on the podcast together.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am sure the team is super excited. I mean, right now our daily goal is just to hit 40. We are too shy of that, and I know that means nothing to the listeners who will catch this in days to come, but
I am back to number 37. So
yes, so we're that much closer to halfway. That is awesome.
And what happens if this is done by the time I post this podcast? But I mean, because wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, but they want the book still.
Oh well, that's great. Go check out Ominous Sofa. Comment or blah 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 blah. Just go check out Ominous Sofa.
And I'm sure you're going to provide me a link to Ominous Sofa so we can put it in the show notes.
Yes, on the old Facebooks there, and you'll get all of the good information there on the Facebooks.
Fantastic. We will take care of that, and this seems like a nice thing to plug. This is much better than most of the things you plug.
It's a fun story. It's I guess like the best way to describe it too is like, you got, if you like Rick and Morty and you like Star Wars, it's like having,
I
Rick
hate
and Morty.
Those things. You've lost me.
I know. You hate them.
I hate all of those things.
You hate all of it. Okay. It's like if you had a kitchen on the Star Trek Enterprise, and it was the guys
would you quit saying all things I like? You're just
the people who the people who work in the kitchen, and it's just their story while everyone else is doing cool stuff, and they have to make alien food for all the different alien races and then clean all the plates. This is their story.
I like it.
But also it's very you got a goofy young person and a just kind of like a rough around the edges elder, kind of ushering them into the ways of the back of house. In the kitchen, I feel like
you already got to read the story.
A little bit.
Okay.
You
seem to have insider information.
If anyone goes onto the Kickstarter page, you too can get the first 12 pages right now. So,
well, tell them. All right. Well, we will get a link to either their website or the Kickstarter, depending on when this episode posts. Yeah. But yeah, definitely keep backing these worthwhile independent projects. You will not regret it. So, sweet. And with that note, we probably should wrap this thing up. So I'm Dan, and this was a great episode of Funny Book Forensics that went everywhere. And you are...
I'm Greg, and I had a great time. Thanks for inviting me on this journey.
Look at that enthusiasm as we end another episode of Funny Book Forensics.
Huzzah! Oh, I'm supposed to hit the button now. Oh man, I can't find it. Where is the button?
Written, created, drawn, colored, and lettered by C. Ray Gunn. Edited and produced by Phil Haxo. If you've worked in a kitchen, if you know the back of house, this is a book for you. If you like sci-fi, this is a book for you. If you like 80s action flicks, this is a book for you. Scrape. It's the one and only thing you need to be getting on Kickstarter right now. Back Scrape on Kickstarter. Brought to you by the team over at Ominous Sofa and brought to life by you through Kickstarter. Scrape. The one and only thing you need to be backing. Scrape.